Somewhere on an old hard drive lives a version of Bluey so weird it makes you question if the Healer family was ever meant for TV. 1. Rusty was originally named Mackenzie. One of the weirdest mix-ups in Bluey's early days involves Rusty and Mackenzie. In the 2016 pilot, Bluey sees her friend at the park and happily calls out, "Mackenzie!" But the dog who turns around isn't a border collie. It's a red kelpie. That's right, the dog we now know as Rusty was originally called Mackenzie. The names hadn't been locked in yet, so things got messy. It's like someone picked names out of a hat and forgot to tell the animators. Maybe Rusty lost his original name in a trade deal, or maybe Mackenzie just stole it back. Either way, something doesn't add up. 2. Mackenzie's entire appearance was different. Mackenzie, as we know him now, didn't always look the way he does. In the pilot, his design was all over the place. His floppy ear was on the wrong side, both front paws were white instead of mismatched, and even his overall coloring looked off. It's like the animators were still figuring out if he was a dog or a prototype stuffed animal. Watching it feels like spotting a bootleg version of Mackenzie from some alternate universe. You almost expect him to glitch or speak backwards. It's clear he was still under construction. Half Mackenzie, half mystery, and fully unready for prime time. 3. Rusty was supposed to be the star, not Bluey. Before Bluey took over the world, she wasn't even the main character. The original star was a red kelpie named Mackenzie, who later became Rusty. Creator Joe Brum had based the show on his own childhood dog, and the series was supposed to follow him. But somewhere along the way, the blue pup we now adore stepped in and stole the spotlight. Was it a creative decision? Or did Bluey stage a quiet takeover off-screen? Either way, poor Rusty was demoted from lead role to sidekick. One minute you're the hero, the next you're tagging along with the dog who replaced you. 4th pilot opening used a completely different song. The first version of Bluey's opening didn't sound anything like the cheerful theme we know today. Instead of the bouncy tune written for the show, the pilot used a rock song called Pinball Les by the band Custard. That band just happens to include Bluey's future dad. Well, the guy who voices him. The whole thing felt like an indie music video, not a kid's cartoon. Imagine Bluey dancing to garage rock while shaking her hips in front of a purple screen. It wasn't bad, just completely off-brand. If anything, it felt like the show was made for cool parents, not their kids. 5th, Bandit was originally negligent and glued to his phone. In the first pilot, Bandit wasn't the fun, playful dad we all know. He was distracted. Most of the time, he stared at his phone, barely looking up while Bluey played alone. He seemed tired, annoyed, and honestly just wanted to sit down and scroll. It gave off serious, "I didn't sign up for this" energy. That version of Bandit felt more like a bored babysitter than a loving dad. ABC wasn't thrilled with the idea of a parent ignoring their kid, so the team scrapped it. Luckily, the Bandit we got later traded screen time for swing time and became a legend. 6. Bluey's spot count and Mickey Mouse mark. Early Bluey had way more spots on her back. 6 in total. One of them was so big and round, fans swear it looked like Mickey Mouse's head. It's hard to unsee once you notice it. Was it a sneaky tribute to Disney? Or just an accidental mouse-shaped birthmark? Either way, it didn't last. In the final version, the design team cleaned things up and gave Bluey just 3 small spots, spaced evenly like a proper cartoon pup. The mysterious Mickey mark vanished without a word. Maybe Disney called, or maybe Bluey had a secret tattoo removal off-screen. We'll never know. 7. Bingo's design. Multiple spots, and aged-up muzzle. Pilot Bingo looked like she'd already been through a midlife crisis. Her muzzle was longer, her face more mature, and her tiny arms were covered in dark spots. She almost looked like a tired aunt, not a playful little sister. Compared to the sweet, round-faced Bingo we know today, this early version gave off strong, "I've seen things" energy. Maybe she aged from dealing with off-brand Bandit? Thankfully, the final design softened everything. Less spots, rounder face, one clean mark on her back. It made her look younger, cuter, and much more like the Bingo who spends half her time pretending to be a bug. 8. Bandit's face spot changed twice. Bandit's face went through an identity crisis before the show even began. In the first pilot, he didn't have his iconic mask at all. His eyebrows were pale, his face looked plain, and honestly, he gave off more accountant than mischievous dad. Then in the second version, he got just one spot on one side, like the animators couldn't decide if he was going undercover or not. It wasn't until the final design that he got the full half-face mask we all recognize. That's when Bandit finally looked like Bandit. With a name like his, you can't walk around without a decent disguise. 9. Chilli's age and face pattern changed. In the pilot, Chilli looked like she'd just graduated from doggy college. Her fur was brighter, her face was missing that familiar cheek patch, and something about her design felt unfinished. Next to Bandit, she actually looked younger, almost like his much younger cousin rather than his partner. It's possible the team hadn't decided yet if she was supposed to be the fun mom or the cool older sister. The final version fixed that fast. The added markings gave her maturity, warmth, and that mom who knows everything energy. Turns out, a simple cheek patch can change everything, including your entire age bracket. 10th, color changes in nose and fur. In the early pilot, Bluey's nose looked like a tiny traffic cone, sharp and oddly brownish purple. It stuck out like it belonged to a different dog. Bandit, on the other hand, had a belly the same pale blue as his fur, making him look like he was dipped in laundry detergent. Later, the team gave him a bold yellow belly, which somehow made him feel more huggable and less like a sad smurf. These may sound like small details, but they totally changed the character's vibe. One looked unfinished, the other looked overwashed. Thankfully, both ended up looking like proper cartoon royalty. 11. The healer house was white and sparse. The healer house in the pilot looked like it had just been moved into, or robbed. The walls were plain white, the furniture looked like it came from a discount catalog, and the windows had no charm at all. It felt less like a warm family home and more like a waiting room with a kitchen. There was no color, no clutter, and definitely no signs of a life filled with kids, games, and chaos. It's almost like the house hadn't met the healers yet. By the time the official series rolled out, the home finally had a soul and a proper coat of paint. 12th, living room picture frame. Featured an unknown character. In the pilot's living room, there's a photo hanging on the wall that never shows up again. It's not Bandit, not Stripe, not Grandpa Bob or Mort. It's a dog in glasses and a bow tie, looking way too important to be forgotten, yet completely erased from the series after that one shot. No one ever mentions him. He just sits in the background like a ghost relative the family doesn't talk about. Maybe he was a scrapped character, or maybe he saw something in that house he wasn't supposed to. Either way, he vanished, and nobody seems to ask why. 13th, toilet scene had a to-do list and purple walls. In the pilot, the healer family's bathroom looked suspiciously grown up. The walls were purple, the vibe was oddly serious, and there was even a to-do list taped to the wall. Not a silly chore chart, an actual adult list. Bills, car repairs, dentist. It was like Bandit had turned the bathroom into a personal stress chamber. Honestly, it felt more like a parent's panic corner than a kid's cartoon setting. In the final version, they swapped the purple for soft green and ditched the list completely. Because let's be real, no toddler wants to be reminded about taxes while brushing their teeth. 14. Chilli's MP3 player just wasn't there. In the official episode, Chilli heads out for her jog looking like every modern mom. MP3 player strapped to her arm, earbuds in, ready to conquer the sidewalk. But in the pilot, she walks out the door with nothing. No music, no gear, just pure silence. Either she hadn't discovered playlists yet, or the animators hadn't figured out joggers-like tunes. It's a tiny detail, but it changes everything. One version says healthy lifestyle, the other feels like she's jogging to escape her own thoughts. Honestly, without music, that run feels a lot darker. What was she running from? We may never know. 15. Chilli left the house in the opposite direction. In the pilot, Chilli walks out the door going right. In the official episode, she exits to the left. It's a small flip, but not random. The animators switched directions just to show the better side of her face, the one with the signature patch. That tiny detail changed the layout of the entire scene. Doors, furniture, background, flipped like a mirror just for a cheek mark. It sounds dramatic, but in animation, face patches are sacred. Without it, Chilli looked oddly plain, like she was missing a feature. So they turned the whole house around just to make her more Chilli. 16. Eye lag glitch on Rusty and Mackenzie. In the 2016 pilot, there's a blink and you'll miss it moment that's honestly hard to unsee once you catch it. Rusty and Mackenzie jump with excitement, but their eyes don't go with them. For a second, their bodies are mid-air, while their eyeballs stay behind like they're glued to the background. It's a clear animation bug, but it feels strangely haunting, like their souls forgot to catch up. Was it a mistake? Or were their spirits trying to leave their pilot version bodies? Either way, the animators must have noticed, because that floating eye horror show never made it to the final cut, thankfully. 17. Mackenzie's hands disappear into the clouds. In one scene from the pilot, Mackenzie jumps into the air, super excited, full of energy. But then his hands vanish. Just like that, gone. Not because of magic, but because someone animated white paws against a white, cloud-filled sky. They didn't blend, they disappeared. For a moment, Mackenzie looks like he's mid-jump with invisible hands, like some kind of weird floating ghost dog. It's a small mistake, but it's wild how creepy it looks if you pause at the right second. He's not flying, he's phasing out of reality. Maybe early Mackenzie had powers, or maybe someone just forgot to shade. 18. Bluey in a baby stroller? In the pilot, Bandit pushes Bluey to the park in a baby stroller. Yes, a stroller. Not a wagon, not a scooter. A full baby ride. Which is odd, considering Bluey is supposed to be 6 years old. She walks, runs, climbs trees. But in this early version, she's basically toddler-sized. Either the creators hadn't figured out her age yet, or Bandit was just too lazy to let her walk. Honestly, it makes you wonder if she was originally meant to be a Peppa Pig-style preschooler. Thankfully, they aged her up later. The Bluey we know wouldn't be caught dead in a stroller. 19th, swing scene was far more intense. In the pilot's park scene, Bandit doesn't just give Bluey a gentle push on the swing, he launches her like he's trying to break the sound barrier. She goes so high, she loops all the way around the top bar, like a cartoon physics experiment gone wrong. It's played for laughs, but if you stop and think about it, that's one serious push. If this were real life, Bandit would be explaining to Chilli why their daughter is orbiting the Earth. The final version toned it way down, thankfully. Cartoon fun is great, but no one needs Bluey turning into a flying hazard. 20. Bingo's book changed covers. In the original episode, Bingo holds a book with a plain orange cover. No title, no pictures, just orange. It looks more like a notebook or a secret journal than something a 4-year-old would read. But in the pilot, that same book becomes an iPad. It tells us what Bingo's learning, what she's curious about, maybe even what bedtime looks like in the healer house. The orange one? Total mystery. Either she was reading dog poetry or just pretending. The green version, at least, has a purpose. And molars. 21st. Dinner went from vegan to seafood. Dinner in the pilot looked like a veggie ad. Chilli was chopping carrots, and the whole meal seemed very plant-based. It gave off peaceful, health-conscious vibes, like the healers were one yoga mat away from a wellness retreat. But in the official episode, the menu changes completely. No more carrots. Now it's prawns. Big ones. Suddenly, the family goes from farmer's market to full seafood feast. It's a strange swap, and no one explains it. Maybe Bandit begged for protein. Maybe Chilli cracked under toddler pressure. Either way, the carrots vanished and shrimp took over. The meal got fancier and a lot fishier. 20-second bathroom accessories got swapped. There used to be an air freshener in the healer's bathroom. A little spray can sitting on the window like it had just finished fighting for its life. It said everything without saying anything. Bandit was clearly up to something powerful. But in the final version, that detail quietly vanished. The spray got replaced with a polite little roll of toilet paper. Clean, simple, and not at all suspicious. It feels like the show chose dignity over realism. Maybe they realized no kid wants to think about their favorite cartoon dad unleashing chaos behind a bathroom door. 23rd. Bingo's doll wasn't strawberry shortcake. Before Bingo had her cute little strawberry shortcake-style doll, she had a mystery mutt. In the pilot, the toy in her room wasn't pink, sweet, or even recognizable. It was just a small, plain dog. No real face, no flair, no personality. Honestly, it looked like a rejected plush from a garage sale. The kind of toy that watches you sleep and maybe whispers at night. The final version gave her a bright, cheerful doll that actually looks like something a kid would love. Because let's be real, Bingo's imagination is wild enough without a haunted-looking cuddle buddy. 24. Bluey and Bingo slept in separate rooms. Imagine Bluey without Bingo snoring 2 feet away. Weird, right? But in the pilot, that's exactly what we got. 2 totally separate bedrooms. One for Bluey, one for Bingo, like they were living in a quiet doggy sitcom with their own plot lines. It felt distant, even a little cold. No midnight giggles, no sisterly chaos, just silence. The final version fixed that fast. Putting them in the same room didn't just change the layout, It changed the heart of the show. Their closeness became core to everything. Separate rooms may have made sense on paper, but it definitely didn't work for Bluey's heart. We've just pulled back the curtain on a version of Bluey most fans never knew existed. Now it's your turn. Would you have watched the show if Bluey was still in a stroller? Drop your take in the comments and stick around. This rabbit hole only goes deeper.